This is John Loughran Reviewed Your Profile, a show where we speak with colleagues from the medical marketing industry about their careers. This episode's guest is Elsevier's Hank Blaney, the current president of the Association of Medical Media. Hello, I am DG Connect's John Loughran. After my bang-up job as the entertainment for the AMM's Battle of the Brains for Breast Cancer, I've somehow parlayed that into a show that hopefully people will find both entertaining and informative. I plan to start off each episode with a little monologue, if you will, before speaking with a special guest. As you might be able to guess from the awesome name of this show, I look at our guest's LinkedIn profile and talk to them about their career. Kind of cool, right? No? Look at your own show. So, first things first, what's going on in the world? We have an election coming up. Nothing really interesting about that. World Series is going on. What else? Claire! Yes, The Bachelorette has recently started, and Claire is already as bat-you-know-what crazy as we think. Does anyone watch this? If so, feel free to give me a call and discuss. Not now. This isn't live. I mean, like, during the day, anytime, seriously. I love talking about crap. I'm sure most of you know that. I'm also a huge Big Brother fan, too. Hey, Julie Chen Moonves. But I'm also into serious topics. We still have that pesky coronavirus hanging around. In local news, in Bucks County, PA, our schools are closing and reopening and talking about going back 5 days sometime soon. It's like one of those will they, won't they, Ross and Rachel rom-com kind of things, except without the romance or the comedy. But what can you do? I'm actually getting kind of acclimated to the hybrid school thing. I just need a routine that I can stick to. I mean, 3 days a week, it's a literal dumpster fire at my house with kids and grandparents. But at least I know what to expect now. Then there's 2 days of relative quiet when the kids go into school. Then the weekend. Then rinse. Then repeat. Do it all again. For our East Coasters, the NFC East is sure pretty darn horrible. I think we all know that. Not much to elaborate on there. The Lakers won the NBA Finals, and I really couldn't be happier for LeBron. That guy really needed to catch a break, so good for you, pal. Also, the AMM's Battle of the Brains for Breast Cancers was a smashing success, as we all know, raising a lot of money while also putting on a clinic on how to have a discombobulated virtual event with 200 people on multiple video calls all at once. Okay, so with that perfect segue, I'm not stopping here. I thought I nailed that pretty well. So with that perfect segue, now our guest who put a ton of effort into that event, Hank Blaney, my guest. It says here that you are a grizzled industry veteran, loved by most, feared by all. No, wait, that says respected by all,
Thanks.
by all.
Better to be
most recognizable for your years at Elsevier, and most recently as the embattled president of the Association of Medical Media. During the toughest year any of us can remember. Welcome. How the hell are you?
I'm great. Is this the inaugural episode?
This is probably the first and last episode of John Loughran Viewed Your Profile. But thank you so much for getting dressed up for me. If there is an episode 2, maybe I'll go sports coat and shirt and tie, no tie. But yeah, it's a casual conversation between industry colleagues. So
excellent.
Yes,
good.
And I like your very clean background. Where
I was gonna get a sign that says quarantine happens, but I haven't gotten that yet.
Cool. This is good. I can definitely do some editing here because I lost you for a second and it said Dad's phone on the screen instead of a picture of you, but you're back, and we're back.
Yeah.
So we're gonna work out all the kinks during episode 1 here, but so hey, thank you very much for being the first guest. So I've got some questions. Actually, this one wouldn't even make sense because you didn't see the monologue yet, but I made some kind of reference about the bang-up success of the Battle of the Brains for breast cancer, and how it was
huge success.
It was a huge success, and how it was a slightly discombobulated experience of multiple video calls at once. But I think it went off as well as humanly possible.
Well, two points on that. The
Yeah,
first is we raised money for a good cause, and we
absolutely.
raised just about the same amount of money as always. And the second thing is we had really good participation, even if it's virtual. So it was a good big success. And the after hours entertainment was stellar.
And seriously, it's parlayed into whatever this is going to be. So, how did our team? I had the Zoom going on with the trivia, and then we had a side Google Meet going. How did you guys communicate?
We communicated via text. It was a little bit laggy, so sometimes we put in like answers that I thought was correct, only to be like vetoed later, but the answer was already in. So we had a little bit of technical difficulties on that, but the next time we do it, probably for our holiday party, we'll be better. We'll use Google Meet. We'll be able to communicate more as a team than the usual Elsevier.
Well, FYI, because I'm literally working out the kinks as I build the plane here. Google Meet seems like it doesn't allow you to record anymore, because I was going to try to use that for this, but Zoom seems to. So anyway, we got a couple months before the holidays. So hey, 2020 is going fantastic. All right, so into the brain-busting questions that everybody wants to know about Hank Blaney. This is a little kind of get to know you, kind of ask you questions about your career, how you've ascended to president of the AMM. Obviously, you must have done something right.
Yes, 2020 is the year of ascension, right?
Yes. Well, I think the thing that got you over the top, obviously, was the decade that you and I worked together.
No doubt about it, John.
Rode my coattails to success.
Yeah.
So it says here that we've done some work together. Care to tell the people what we did and how we worked together?
Yes, the most fruitful years of my Elsevier career was when I had the pleasure of working with you, John Loughran, as well as your partner in crime, Seema Sherman. And that was the A team working on Pharmacy Today. And that was a real fun time. And it was also a learning time. And it was also a time of great success, because I was working with two of the best sales reps in the industry, and having a ton of fun traveling, going to see customers. It's really different when you go to see a customer and you walk in and you're sort of trying to warm them up, or you don't have a relationship. And so when I was working with you and Seema, that was never the case. We were always walking in to any ad agency or walking the exhibit floor, and I was always treated like a returning astronaut with the customers, with the rose petals in front of me. It was a very nice way to live for 10 years.
No, it was a lot of fun, and I had a blast. Actually, the next question here was, now I'm going to preface this. This is non-wheelchair pushing category. What is your favorite memory of us working together?
Favorite memory was probably the favorite memory from a career-wise or from a business-wise was when we sold out the biggest web portal or the biggest platform. That was pharmacist.com. And then you guys started selling it out every month. And that was when it was highly profitable revenue for Elsevier and getting pharmacists information they needed. So it worked out really well. That was like a big moment. Elsevier's always tried to move from print to digital. And that was the days when we could walk around and say, we've sold out the biggest platform. So that was really great. We haven't been able to do that since you guys left. We came close a couple of months, but selling out, 1 million impressions a month was really fun. So that was great. And then of course, traveling probably the night in New Orleans when we left the casino and we were walking back to the hotel and Seema was just rolling in to check into the hotel. It's probably pretty funny.
Yeah, that was good
like,
times.
Oh, hi guys, you're up early.
Yeah, I think she was actually sitting outside of the hotel waiting to get a taxi to the airport as we were rolling in. Only because we were out with a client.
Of course.
You got to do what you got to do in these times. So, we're at the mercy of the clients.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a good answer. And just for the record, I think it's a reflection also of the pharmacy market that the selling out is not as easy these days.
There's no question about it. That's absolutely true. You're right. I work with an A team now that does an incredible job based on what the marketplace has. That's good. And I also recall, just to go back to the fondest of times, I believe that was the night you couldn't find a bar on Bourbon Street. I believe that was the night.
Couldn't find a bar on Bourbon Street because they're pretty much on top of each other.
Yeah, it was kind of unusual.
Yeah. Well, that's when we were having our huge ass beers and just kind of.
I guess we eventually did find one.
We found some bars, yeah. But I do remember we were off Bourbon Street for some reason in a very seedy little place. I want to say Brian Jenkins from Elsevier was there.
Dodgy, sketchy, yeah.
Yeah. It was good times. Good
Corner,
times. Yeah. But so we'll save it for another time where we'll tell the wheelchair story, which, according to my notes, featured a baby panda bear and a Christopher Walken impersonation.
Yes.
if you remember.
Yes, it was. Yes, that's true. Yeah. Well, all good things.
All good things. Okay. Back to the hard-hitting questions. It says here you attended Fairfield University for your undergrad.
I did.
What was their mascot?
Their mascot is a stag.
A stag.
A male deer with big.
A male deer.
Yeah, so I used to run around the basketball games in the stag mascot, and rub bald guys' heads and sign autographs for kids. Yeah.
You were the mascot?
I was the stag. Yeah.
That is awesome.
I'll have to. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Can you use the word stag in 2 other types of sentences?
Stagger down Bourbon Street.
Stagger. Okay.
And that's about it. Yeah.
What about one who goes stag to a dance?
Yes, exactly.
And then also, don't they call bachelor parties stag parties for some reason?
Stag parties, exactly. Yes. My stag thing was more getting dressed up in a costume and running up and down the hardwood floor in the basketball arena.
That's awesome. I'm sure 7,000 times in our times hanging out, you've told me that you were the mascot for the Stags. Yet I could not remember that for the life of me.
I used to have a little dance, the mid-circle, the basketball.
Next question. Do that dance right now.
Oh, it was something with a big. No?
I'm kidding. All right. So after you got your undergrad from Fairfield, it says then you got an MBA from Fordham.
University, which were not the Stags, they were the Rams, and I was not a collegiate mascot at that point. It was more night school in Midtown Manhattan, Lincoln Center. But that's now that I live in Massapequa, New York. There's a lot of people walking around with Fordham memorabilia, Fordham hats, etc. And I, get into conversations. That's a pretty normal career thing. After work, go and get your MBA in Lincoln Center at Fordham. Yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was informative. If Fairfield was fun, Fordham was education.
Gotcha. Now, I have a lot of friends from college who did the after work at Villanova MBA and
Same
stuff
thing.
like that. Yeah. So would you say advice to the younger viewers here? Hopefully there's a viewer or two. Would you say that going through that arduous process of getting your MBA after hours has advanced your career?
Yeah, it's fantastically, really good. I think because it gives you the confidence to look at a income statement or a balance sheet or whatever in business meetings. It's come up many, many times in my favor when someone will say something and you have confidence to say, I don't know what you're talking about. Right?
Yeah.
And that's basically what that gives you. Whereas, before I got an MBA, I didn't really have the confidence to sort of ask that kind of question in a business setting, especially of senior management, like, hey, where are you going here? I don't understand this game plan, et cetera. But now that I have an MBA, it's okay to look dumb or it's okay to ask stupid questions because I had the confidence to do so.
That's a fantastic answer. And also it's very impressive. You're Hank Blaney MBA, whereas I'm John Loughran communications grad from the University of Scranton, which
But see, there's a difference there. You've always had the confidence to ask the stupid questions. So maybe you don't need an MBA, John.
Well, they say there's no such thing as stupid questions, just stupid people that ask questions. So.
No, I'm saying that perhaps you have enough confidence, and I've seen you in your business dealings, where an MBA wouldn't be as suited to what you do and how you conduct yourself as it was for me. For me, it was a big leap, and it was needed.
They say some people are just born talented, others have to put in the work. And
there you go. That's
it. So the next thing here, as I was perusing your LinkedIn profile, obviously everybody knows you as the king of Elsevier, but
Oh,
before Elsevier, says you did an 11-month stint at a company called RL Polk.
I did.
Now, I thought that was the high school that Al Bundy went to, and he scored 4
It was.
touchdowns in a single game. But
Yeah.
what in the world is RL Polk?
RL Polk is a company that does car registration. So
Oh,
it sold data and information to car dealerships and the big three, basically the big three car manufacturers. The point is that what I learned as a direct marketing person was do these marketing campaigns and get results. So all the questions and all of the meetings were about how did your campaign do? And that was the first 10 years of my career. And now that's all I do at Elsevier. I just do these cover rep ad programs or whatever, email marketing campaigns. And it's how did your campaign do? So it kind of taught me that you can get good results, you can get bad results. The point is just continually try to improve on the control group of results. So that's what I learned there. And I'm just mindlessly doing the same thing now. But RL Polk was way ahead of its time. It was 20 years ago.
wow.
But RL Polk figured out that if they knew what kind of car you drove, they could do this kind of Netflix recommendation thing where they could figure out what kind of car you were ready to get next. And
Wow.
then based on car leases that were expiring, what car dealerships should call, because that person is just about to buy that next level of car up in the class. And then to get to them a month or 6 weeks beforehand. So it's just like Netflix. They let a little bit of the information, but they were able to extrapolate or forecast or whatever you want to say, like into what that consumer is going to do next. So that's what you can do now in the healthcare space, figuring out what physician has a patient and how they're going to pass that patient on to the next specialist. And then that specialist is going to be with that nurse practitioner, that pharmacist, et cetera. So it's the same kind of thing.
Is that why I got a call in the year 2000 from Oldsmobile of Conshohocken asking if I wanted to upgrade my 1996 Cutlass Sierra that was my grandmother's?
That's exactly it. That's
Very
right.
cool. Very
They knew
cool.
grandmother had ceased charging you rent and your lease was up.
Yeah. They knew I was due for an upgrade. So here's something that I actually know personally about you that you've omitted from your resume, which I think is, I don't know if it's a mistake. I'm here to ask questions. Noticeably absent from your LinkedIn profile is Florida beach bartender.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that was actually a career enhancing thing. There is that gap there. So
I'm sure it helped you with your communication skills, and I've seen you drink with clients. So
right, exactly.
yeah.
That was right when I graduated from Fordham, I got unceremoniously laid off from RL Polk, and then there it was. I didn't have to be in New York City for the first time in a long time, and it was February. So I went down and became a bartender in Fort Myers Beach, the Lani Ka Beach Bar. Very nice. A little tiki hut. I did we had pina coladas and stuff. I had real coconuts. It was really good.
Do you like pina coladas? Getting caught in the rain?
And we would see the boats in the Gulf when they got caught in the rain or big storms coming in. And then they would all try to make it to shore. We would batten down the hatches. Great fun. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Sounds almost as fun as what we do on the road when we would travel together. But
yeah.
All right, so segue time. Like I mentioned earlier, you're the, I guess, almost outgoing now president of the AMM.
I am current president of the Association of Medical Media for 2020, greatest year ever. Kind of a challenge. I had so many high hopes for how we were going to, great strides we were going to make as a group. And then it went virtual, and it was all I could do to keep the events and the momentum going and keeping my head above water. But we did okay. We kept the momentum going in a couple of ways with the virtual meetings. The education sessions will continue. We have one coming up next week. And also we had a nice, entertaining social event that I think was fun with you being the social. I thought that was great, by the way.
Social something, yes.
But yes, the next we have the holiday party coming up in December. And then after that, Eileen Henry of Kluwer will be our incoming president, and I will be ex or former.
you'll get your own library, and
Looking forward to it.
you'll be on the past president's calls in the future,
The
right?
sequel library, yeah, that'd be great.
Yes.
Such, yeah.
What do they be like?
Data.
Cat in the Hat and books that our kids would read. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So enough of the brain-busting, hard-hitting intellectual questions. Next thing here says, you're a fan of the New York Football Giants. I'm a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Which one of us is in sadder shape?
Oh, well, that's a really good question. I think you are, because you are kind of expected to win a little bit more of this, and this is more your year, your time, whereas the Giants kind of like developing. But nonetheless, if someone wins the division, the NFC least, with 2, 3, maybe 4 wins as a possibility, then it's going to be, a big missed opportunity for the Giants, the Eagles. If, football team wins, we're all going to look back and say, we completely missed out. We could have won 5 games, and that would have been it.
Football team just whooped up on the Cowboys over the weekend, so it's anybody's division for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Giants only have 3 games left they can win. They have 6 games that are pretty tough.
Really?
They're probably not going to win.
They've already been eliminated from contention in those games before
Yeah, so they may have 4 wins. They may not have 4 wins, but 4 wins would be good.
4 wins would be good.
Anyway, for going back to the Giants, I am going to do Danny donations or Danny dimes for our Halloween. I'm going to put on the Daniel Jones jersey and then sprint 90 yards to the Halloween bucket and then just collapse.
Just
right
fall
on the front.
Fall on the front steps. Nice. Yeah. I like it. We're going to have similar costumes, because I'm going to dye myself orange, and I'm going to be Carson Wentz, and I'm going to go trick-or-treating with 10 people that no one have ever heard of, and see if I can make it to the playoffs. But
maybe you get tackled.
Yeah, I'll probably do something stupid. All right, so this is going better than I thought, and pretty quick. And the whole premise is to keep it. What's that? Yeah. Okay. Well, the premise is to keep it short and sweet so that we don't lose the viewer's attention. So I'm towards the end of the question and answer portion here, but 2 last things. What's next for Hank Blaney?
Oh, what's next for Hank Blaney? Well, that's interesting. I ask myself that a lot, but I really enjoy working at Elsevier. Uncle Elsevier treats me very well, as I'm sure you know.
Good answer.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to ride out the Elsevier welcome as long as I can, to the point where one of our heroes, Frank Benacasa, retired when he was 75, I think, and went and got another job. So I'd like to be that guy, have a couple of drinks in the afternoon, fall asleep during the afternoon meetings, and then, continue my employment as long as you have me.
Yes, hopefully Frank doesn't mind us. That was the highlight of all of our day-long meetings at the APHA, was looking over at Fast Frank slowly nodding off. But the guy's got all the experience in the world. He didn't even need to listen to that stuff. We did.
No, I want to be that guy. Yeah, that's my career goal.
That sounds great. So there's going to be a lot more from Hank Blaney in the future.
Yes, and then after that, after I'm unceremoniously let go when I'm 75, that's when I open up my own bar, the Lonnie Ka, down in Fort Myers Beach. You can come down. I'll give you half-price drinks.
Nice. I might have to drink twice as much then. Now this might be a regular segment. I don't know, but we'll see how this goes. It's called Now We Turn the Tables. Oh. You asked me a question.
Oh. Wow.
I can edit out the pause in between. Or we don't do turn the tables. Or if you would have read the script beforehand, like I said it to you, you would have known this was coming.
I would have. Well, I guess the standard question is going to be, what's next for you? How do you, what are your big aspirations? If you had a magic wand and you could wave it, where would you be in our industry, and, what would you be doing?
Unfortunately, we're out of time. No, similar to your answer, I love where I'm at with DG Connect. I'm in a really cool company that does all the things that marketers need these days in terms of being able to target by individual MPI number, providing user level data, doing cool things like trigger based emails, all the stuff that all of our agency partners are looking for in 2020, we're providing. So I'm a big fan of where I'm at. I've, obviously learned a lot in my career from my stint at CMI and my decade plus at Triple Threat Media and working with associations. And, I'm going to try to continue to hopefully keep a half a step ahead of the trends and, continue
that's no problem for you.
Yeah.
I have the utmost confidence in you, John.
Well, I have quality people pushing me in the right direction most times. Wheelchair story, we'll tell another time. If we get once I go through about 300 guests and you get your second appearance, we'll tell that story.
I'm looking forward to it.
So let's see. Hopefully this recording worked because this is the first go by, and I'll be really upset if this is all for naught. But I am recording this. Hopefully it comes off well and viewable. And with that, I will let you run. Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure to be here. There's a fly running around my house. I hope it doesn't land on my forehead.
Is that the Mike Pence? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, Hank.
All right.
You're the man.
Thank you, John.
Okay, that was episode 1 of John Loughran Viewed Your Profile. I'd like to thank my guest and good friend, Hank Blaney. I hope everybody out there has a fantastic Halloween. Hopefully you and your kids can go trick-or-treating. Get out there and vote. Get the big election coming up. And if you would like to be a guest on this train wreck of a whatever you call it, get in touch with me somehow. It's 2020. You can find me either LinkedIn or text me or whatever. You can find me. If you can pass the test of getting in touch with me, I will talk to you about potentially being a guest. All right. That's all for now. Take care. Peace and love.